And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at a game called Cheese Thief. This is a deduction game, a social deduction game, in which players are all sitting around a table. One of them is going to steal a piece of cheese in the middle, and everyone else is going to try to figure out who that person is. Here's how it plays. In a game, players are going to be given a card secretly. You're going to shuffle these and give them out, and players are either going to be sleeping or they're going to be the cheese thief. So you have the same number as cards of players, give them to everybody. Everybody's going to look at their card secretly. You're also going to roll a die, secretly look at it, and put it in a cup. Only you know what number that die is. You could have someone read this out loud, but it's easier to use the app. You pick the number of players in the game. So this is a 5-player game, and then you'll start it.
Now begins, and you should all go to sleep. All players, please close your eyes without peeking.
All right, so everyone closes their eyes.
It is now 1 a.m. For those who have rolled a 1, open your eyes and act now.
So she's going to go through this from 1 to 6 and then tell everyone to open their eyes. I'm not going to play all of them. But if you have a 1, so do any players have a 1 here? Yeah, this player has a 1. That player would open their eyes and look. That's all they're doing. If they see some other people with their eyes open, so be it. Now, if there's a cheese thief, they're going to steal the cheese when it's their turn to wake up, hiding it in your pocket or something, just whatever, getting it off the table. If you see the cheese thief steal it, and there is 5 or more players, then you become the cheese thief's follower. Now, if there's 2 people who see you do it, then you pick one of them to be your follower. With 7 players at the end of a round, everyone puts their hands out, and the cheese thief will tap one to be their follower, etc. You can also play with this person who's trying to die or trying to have people think they're the cheese thief. Then the day opens up and everyone just talks and they try to figure out what's going to happen. And eventually you end with a vote where you're going to try to figure out who the cheese thief is. You say 1, 2, 3, everyone points at the person. Whoever has the highest number of votes will reveal their card. And if they're a sleepyhead, the cheese thief and his follower wins. And if they're the cheese thief, everybody but the cheese thief and their follower wins. And that's pretty much it. So, again, like I said, you could have this here. And this person is trying to get the most votes. If they get the most votes, they win. They're called the fall mouse. You can also, with 4 players, you would each roll 2 dice. And you pick one of your dice to wake up, and the cheese thief wakes up both times and can decide when to take the dice. That's it. You can play multiple times, obviously. Now, component-wise, there's a lot going on here. You have all these cups. They stack pretty easily. The dice are fine. They show 1 through 6 on them. Everything's going to fit very easily in this box. The card quality is really, really good card quality. And it's easy to tell who the cheese thief is, right? Very simple. The rules are easy to go. Where I might run into a problem is the app. Because the app sounds like Siri. It sounds like something that's being read. Now, this is not from America originally, so I thought maybe it's because of the language. But then I changed the language to Cantonese, I believe, and I ran it, and it sounds the same. That's problematic. I wish they had hired an actor or actress to read this stuff. It's not a big deal, but it definitely kind of brings the mood down a little bit. When you play One Night Ultimate Werewolf, it has a really nice background thing. But that's my only problem. Other than that, I think the component quality is good. I like the cheese. Essentially just a sponge, but it's really easy to take and hide somewhere. It's not hard at all. You can put it under your cup for all that matters. Now for me, Cheese Thief is all right. And I'll explain why in a second. But I want to be clear, I think this is a social deduction game aimed at and for kids. I played it with my kids, and everyone had a blast playing it. But it's not very strong trying to figure out who people are. If I open my eyes and I'm a sleepyhead at 2, for example, and I see the cheese is gone, well, that's some information I have. I know that someone stole it on turn 1. But, so what I found out when we played the game is I'd say, well, it was gone. Someone would say at 1, I opened my eyes and the cheese was still there. And I'll say, well, at 2, I opened my eyes and the cheese was gone. So you are lying. There's not a lot of things you can say. It's kind of interesting to say, well, I opened my eyes at 5 and the cheese was still there. And I'll say that can't be true because it was gone when I opened my eyes at turn 3. But you don't have a lot of other things to say other than that. You got to be really careful because I found a good way to win, or at least for me, was when I was the follower of the cheesehead, or the cheese thief. The cheesehead's a very different thing. When I was a follower of the cheese thief, I just acted real guilty, messed up some of the things I said, and it was easy for people to vote for me, in which case I wasn't the cheese thief, and we won. So that was that. There's some interesting things there. There's also, because you're rolling the dice, sometimes half the people roll the same number. It happens. Everyone opens their eyes at the same time, and it's kind of a really short game. But that's the thing, folks. It is a really short game. I'd put this in the same category as One Night Ultimate Werewolf. It's not as good as that, but I would put it there, and it's also simpler to play and do, and the rules do a good job at scaling it for number of players. But my kids loved it. It's an easy game, like I said, good for families. So if you're looking for a game that isn't too rules heavy, but plays well with kids and has that fun social deduction, werewolf resistance style feel, then I think Cheese Thief is one that's worth checking out. So there you go. I'm Tom Vasel. You've been watching the Dice Tower. Dice Tower Judgment, kid approved.